Okay, YouTube. I know I have another video on YouTube about the X10 products, and I'm just going to throw up another one there in case I might have missed something the first time. Basically, what X10 is, this is one of their basic remotes, and I know it doesn't really look like much. It's pretty basic, but these are very affordable devices. This stuff's for home automation. Now, I don't have tons of X10 devices in the house here, but I do have several that I use quite often. So basically what it is you get a remote, and they're just like this, and there's different types of remotes. Okay, ones that are do a little more, a little fancier looking. I opted for just the basic one for my purposes. And what X10 does, you also get, and I'll go ahead and show you right here, that little device right there. And I see the antenna is all the way down, but it doesn't really make a difference. We'll just put it up a little bit for today's purposes. All right, and the idea behind this is that you plug, basically that's the transceiver, okay? And what this does is when you send a signal from this remote, that transceiver over there picks it up and then sends that signal through your house wiring and communicates to other devices. So for instance, what I'm going to do is just kind of show you here. If we go over to, let's use one of these wall switches I got here. Okay, so here's some wall switches. Let me turn on another light here, okay? Just one in the background there. Here's an X10 wall switch, and what you do is you set inside here. There's, if you look at this little red thing right here, this little adjustment, this is your house code, okay? And each one of these is labeled. It could support up to 16 different codes. So you basically set your house code. In my case, I have it set to A, okay? After the video, I'll change it back to what I had it. But for today's purposes, you have it set to A. Then you set the switch to A on the inside here, and then you select which number you want. So for the purpose of this video, we're going to go ahead and use, let's see here, number 3 for these cans I just turned on, okay? So what you do is, when you hit the button, maybe it's not on 3. All right, let's try 2, okay? Let's try a different one here. So you go ahead and press 2. Oh, that's my mistake. I had the wrong one here. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, there's also a switch on the bottom here, okay? You have 1 through 8. These are dual functions, okay? You have 1 through 8, and then this would change from 9 through 16, okay? So you put it on the switch right here, 1 through 8. That's what we were trying to do. And I'll go ahead and press the button. So you'll see the lights above me turned on. And what happens is this remote communicates with that transceiver device I just showed you, and then sends a signal through the house wiring and tells the switch to turn on or off. Okay, you can also dim. As you can see, I'm dimming down. And of course, we'll just turn that off. And then we'll turn off the other can. Whoops. They also have lockout switches right here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and turn off the can. Hopefully turn off the can. Alright, so the can does not want to turn off. It could be because the batteries in this remote are bad, or we'll just turn it off, okay? Now, the only thing with X10 that I found, and this is, I'll give you my honest review, I love the product, okay? Now, there's much better products out there, such as like Wi-Fi switches and all this new stuff, which honestly works a lot better. I don't have any of them, but they do work better because you're going off Wi-Fi and you're not going off, depending upon a transceiver, like in the wall over there, to send the signal through the house wiring. They tell you to put the transceiver closest to your electrical box, because that's where basically all your wiring, is fed from throughout the whole house. Mine's on the back side of this wall. That's as close as I could get it. Sometimes, depending on how your house is wired, you don't always get the signals. So this is not a guarantee that wherever you put these wall switches that they'll work. Sometimes you got to move the transceiver around and see what's going to work best for you. Now you could put 2 transceivers in. If you do that though, you might get overlapping signals, okay? So you want to stick with one, find the best placement for it. Overall, mine work pretty darn good, okay? Now, that's, of course, every one of the wall switches look like this, like I just showed you. And they have a dim, that you can dim them, or you can turn on and off. Then you also have devices like this, whereas, let me move this out of the way here. Let me get some light going here. Alright, plug-in modules, and you can see that dual color. You get the red and you get the black, and the red's for your house code, the other one's for your device selector, okay? And this one I have hooked up to my coffee pot in the morning. So this is just an old coffee pot. So I use this to basically turn it on from bed. I get it prepared, and when I wake up, I hit the button, and the coffee starts brewing. I also have them hooked up to fireplaces, electric fireplaces upstairs. You can turn on right from bed. I have my ceiling fan hooked up to that. Now, the one for the ceiling fan, I just use an appliance module because I didn't want to deal with. I don't know if I know you can put a ceiling fan on a dimmer, but I just don't know how that would work with these, so I went with the appliance module. Appliance modules just basically turn the devices either on or off. Lamp modules, such as the one in the coffee maker I showed you, is an appliance model. You don't want to be dimming your coffee maker. That probably wouldn't work. Then you have, of course, the wall. All the wall modules or the wall switches are actually dimmable. So you don't want to put that on an area where you're going to have an appliance hooked up to it. I don't know. What appliance you might have hooked up to it, but anyway, they're basically for lights. They make a lot of other devices too. Now again, I know X10 is very old, dated technology. There's better stuff out there, but for X10, if you want to drop about $100, you can get quite a bit of wall switches, especially if you catch them on sale. You can get wall switches and the modules and all that stuff for really cheap. Also, you can get, which I use on a few of my lights, is motion detectors and dusk to dawn. The motion detectors are dual purpose. They'll do dusk to dawn, turning lights on and off when the sun comes up or goes down, or they'll do based on motion. This other product I have here, if you look right there, they make wireless security cameras. So there's a couple cameras. I have several of these throughout the house, and that's a whole other video I'll make. But basically, overall, it's a really good product. It's a really affordable product, and I can tell you, if you're going to want to go with the home automation, the home automation thing, you can spend a lot of money. I mean, I looked in Lowe's for a Wi-Fi wall switch, you're looking at like $50, and I get it if you got lots of money, and that's going to be your best route, I would say. But as far as bang for the buck, I mean, this stuff's great, and you still, can have control over your home and your lights, and some convenience here. I love it. I've been using it for a while now. They seem to hold up. The only thing is, if you have a three-way switch, such as this one right here, okay, you have to get a three-way system for that. And basically, it's basically just it's not a dummy switch, but it's a switch that looks just like this, but doesn't have the master kill right here. And they're designed to be used. You can't just use like one of these in a standard switch. You actually have to have one. If you have a two-way switch in your house, or a three-way switch, excuse me, you have to actually have a three-way X10 switch, and they're a little bit more money. So, but in this particular situation, I wanted one on these lights above me here, and I opted to go ahead and get one of those. So I'm going to turn that off. Not too much else to say about them. I know this video is somewhat. I guess kind of boring because I didn't really show you how to install a switch or anything like that, but the switches go in just like anything else, and they install just like any other wall switch. So that's my video. If you have any kind of questions, don't hesitate to comment. I could try to help you the best I can. Alright, thanks for watching. Okay, YouTube, just a quick short review of what you see in front of you here is the Western Digital MyCloud. And what these are is basically network attached storage drives. I opted to go with the 4 terabyte model, okay, and basically this one here is a network attached NAS drive, okay, which means it's connected to the network via Ethernet cable and accessed by any computer in the house, okay. And this one here is just a standard USB 4 terabyte drive. And what I've done is I've mirrored the primary drive here. So basically I use this for my movies, my music. I can stream through the network in my house to Chromecast. I can watch movies on any TV in the house remotely. And this one here just backs up the first one. So in the event that I had some kind of catastrophic drive failure, I have a duplicate copy. Eventually I want to get one more, okay? Now, beneath that here I have a home server I built, okay, using free NAS. That's a whole other video. So it's basically you can convert an old computer relatively simple or easily to a home server. But I wanted to get something with a lot of storage, and these were really cost effective. So basically what this allows me to do is, like I said, back up all my pictures, movies, music, and keep all that clutter off my hard drive on the computer in the other room. The MyCloud system also lets you actually have your own cloud. So on any kind of smart device, smartphone or tablet or iPad or iPod, those kind of things, I can remotely access these with their apps and look at my files. I can stream music and movies. I can even stream it right to my car using Bluetooth. Okay, so these are great devices. I think this is a really easy, simple way to get involved in having a networked home storage drive. Their customer service is really good. I did have a little trouble setting it up. My computer was doing something a little funny. I had to actually uninstall my network adapter, reboot, install it, reboot, and then it was able to recognize the attached drives. That's a whole other video. They can be a little complicated to set up. I will say for the average user, I mean, I look at it, if something was like my folks trying to set one up, they'd have a very difficult time if you're not very, very computer savvy. But I think most people won't have a real problem. And their customer service and their tech support's really helpful too. So there it is, my cloud, Western Digital, 4 terabytes. Oh, and also, before I forget, when I said that this was USB, this drive actually lets you plug in a USB drive to basically double your storage space. So I have 8 terabytes of storage. I use 4 because I back up the other 4 to have a copy, okay? And basically you access this drive through the network. So basically this thing allows you to, you could put a USB drive in there. You can put any kind of USB drive plugged in there. You could also put a splitter on there, a hub, and get several more drives, okay? So it's really a quite interesting device. I think it's I'm really glad I bought it, and I got into this one, probably both these for, I don't know, 300, 400 bucks. It was well worth it because now I've basically digitized my entire music collection, all my movies, and again, you check out my other video on how to stream all that good stuff right to any surround system or TV in your house using Chromecast and an Android app called Bubble. Rather than have to go with like Plex or something like that. Because remember, if you're trying to do that with like Plex Media Server, you have to have a computer on at all times. With my system, I don't have to have the computer on. The computer can be turned off. I have my tablet on, the Chromecast hooked up to the TV, and I can watch any movie on that or any music on these drives on any system in the house. So I hope all that came out right. If you do have any kind of questions or would like to know more about these drives, it does come with software and stuff that I don't really use all that much. I basically just use everything through my computer on Windows Explorer because I have these set up to be a network attached drive on there in my computer folder. So if I worded that correctly. So all right, Western Digital, NAS, my cloud. Thanks for watching. Fantastic device. I highly recommend it.